Imagine standing on the edge of a vast, beautiful landscape, ready to explore and conquer. But instead of moving forward, you find yourself shackled to the ground by invisible chains, unable to take that first step. This is what low self-esteem feels like, a constant struggle against unseen barriers that hold you back from realizing your full potential. Today, we're going to delve into the heart of these barriers, the mental habits that subtly yet profoundly undermine our self-esteem. As we explore these 10 destructive patterns, I invite you to reflect on your own experiences and recognize how they might be holding you back. Because the first step to breaking free is understanding what binds you. 1. Victim mentality, the disempowering narrative. Let's start with one of the most pervasive mental habits, victim mentality. When you view yourself as a victim of circumstance, you feel powerless and at the mercy of external forces. This narrative disempowers you, making life feel like something that happens to you, rather than something you can actively shape. Victim mentality keeps you stuck in a cycle of helplessness, feeding low self-esteem and preventing you from taking control of your life. Breaking free involves reclaiming your power and recognizing that, despite your circumstances, you have the strength and capability to change your narrative. 2. Mind reading, the assumed judgment. Imagine walking into a room and instantly feeling judged. You assume people are thinking, "They must find me boring," or "They noticed my mistake." This is the habit of mind reading, where we project our fears and insecurities onto others, imagining they view us in a negative light. In reality, most people are too preoccupied with their own lives to scrutinize ours. Yet this assumption breeds anxiety and doubt, making us question our worth. Let's challenge these thoughts and remind ourselves that we cannot read minds. And more importantly, our worth isn't determined by imagined judgments. 3. Suppressing emotions, the silent saboteur. Have you ever bottled up your feelings, thinking it's not a big deal or not wanting to burden others? This habit of suppressing emotions might seem like strength or avoidance of conflict, but it's a silent saboteur. Unexpressed emotions accumulate over time, corroding our sense of self-worth. When we ignore our feelings, we implicitly tell ourselves that our emotions, and thus, we don't matter. We need to start acknowledging and expressing our emotions, not just for our mental health, but as a declaration of our inherent value. 4. Avoidance, the fearful retreat. Avoidance is deceptively comforting. It's the habit of steering clear of challenges or situations because we fear failure. But this avoidance only stunts our personal growth and reinforces our self-doubt. When we avoid trying new things, we deny ourselves opportunities to prove our capabilities. To rebuild our self-esteem, we must confront our fears and take bold steps forward, celebrating each small victory along the way. 5. Perfectionism, the unattainable ideal. Perfectionism masquerades as a drive for excellence, but it's a trap. When we set impossibly high standards and then punish ourselves for not meeting them, we fall into the cycle of perfectionism. Perfectionism is not about doing your best, it's about chasing an elusive ideal. Each perceived failure chips away at our self-esteem, reinforcing the belief that we are never good enough. We need to redefine our goals and allow ourselves the grace to be imperfectly human. 6. Personalizing, the misplaced blame. Have you ever blamed yourself for someone else's bad mood or assumed responsibility for events beyond your control? This habit of personalizing makes us internalize external events, believing everything is about us. If a friend is upset, we wonder what we did wrong. If something goes wrong, we think it's our fault. This misplaced blame burdens us with unnecessary guilt and damages our self-esteem. We must learn to separate our actions from the actions and emotions of others, understanding that we are not the center of every storm. 7. Labeling the self-imposed identity. Think of a time when you made a mistake and labeled yourself as a failure or loser. These labels, often arising from isolated incidents, can stick like glue, defining how we see ourselves long after the event has passed. Labeling traps us in a fixed identity, leaving no room for growth or change. It's like painting a permanent portrait with the darkest colors after just one misstep. To rebuild our self-esteem, we must peel off these labels and view each action as a part of our journey, not as a defining characteristic. 8. Magnification and minimization, the distorted lens. Do you find yourself obsessing over minor mistakes while downplaying your successes? This habit, known as magnification and minimization, distorts our self-view. We inflate our errors and barely acknowledge our accomplishments, creating a skewed perspective that keeps us trapped in self-doubt. To break free, we must learn to celebrate our achievements and not let our mistakes define us. 9. Seeking external validation, the fragile approval. Relying on others' opinions to feel good about ourselves places our self-worth on shaky ground. When our self-esteem depends on external validation, it becomes fragile and easily shattered. We constantly seek praise or approval, and when it's not given, our self-worth plummets. True confidence comes from within. We need to cultivate an internal sense of worth that remains steady, regardless of external opinions. 10. Comparing yourself to others. The endless race. In today's world, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others. We see the highlight reels of others' lives on social media and feel inadequate in comparison. They're more successful, happier, more attractive, we tell ourselves. These comparisons breed dissatisfaction and erode our self-esteem, making us feel like we're always falling short. We need to remind ourselves that social media is not a reflection of reality, and our worth isn't measured by how we stack up against others' curated moments. Identifying these mental habits is the first step to breaking the chains of low self-esteem. We all experience negative thoughts, but allowing them to control how we see ourselves is a choice. By challenging these habits and replacing them with more positive, realistic thinking, we can begin to rebuild our self-worth. Imagine the landscape before you once more. The chains are gone and you are free to explore, to conquer, to be your true self. This journey requires time and effort, but the reward, a life of confidence, resilience, and well-being, is worth every step. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, please share it with others who might benefit. If you haven't already, subscribe for more empowering content, and let's continue this journey together. Remember, the more you know, the more you grow. See you in the next video.